Hey, it's morning here in Sweden now, and probably super late at night in most of the US, and other times of day in the rest of the world, because that's how time zones tend to work. Um, wow, excuse me. I haven't been talking that much alone here in the morning. Um, but that's about to change because we're going to do some game development now. If you see me doing this stupid stretchy motion, it's because the mic stand is actually obscuring part of my screen. Those are the pains I'm going through for you guys. Um, Last night we finished up a few things. The very last thing I added was I attached the laser to the ship now, so now the mouse stuff doesn't really work anymore. Um, Now you can fly around and you can go boom to slice the asteroids. Oh no, we got a non-convex asteroid again. I need to look into that. And we also did some improvements to the code for distributing the asteroids. So you can see that they're all like nicely spaced apart. I did some code to figure out the radius, like the approximate radius of the asteroid, and use that for so a smaller asteroid, if I make a few of those, will need a smaller space to fit in, so it will allow other asteroids to come closer to it. The like elongated shapes like these are slightly problematic because they will get like a larger radius like that, but that's probably not going to be an issue. Oh no, my chat isn't loading. So that's what we did last night, and I can't control this anymore. Here we go. What else do we do? I suppose that's mostly it. I also added gamepad controls, so I'm playing with my Xbox controller that I had lying around. Um, which is neat. I also tweaked up the speed of the player. It might be a little bit too fast still, but it's I don't know. It's way better than it was before. Also, there like you reach your maximum velocity pretty quickly before you could just keep accelerating forever. Um, so today we're gonna do. It's gonna be about. I'm gonna stream now for about 2.5 hours, and then I'm gonna take a break for lunch, and I'll be back and stream for another bunch of hours. Um, so the thing we're gonna do now is I'm gonna make it so you can attach to asteroids. You can fly up to them and go like clonk and lock on to the asteroid at that point. So that would mean you can do two things. You can like push and pull on the asteroid, which is cool. Because right now you can mostly like shove them around, which is also cool. That might need some tweaking. I was doing a little bit of that yesterday. Um, so the really big asteroids are kind of heavy right now, so you can sort of make them move if you really want to, but it's not a very fast procedure. And like if you need to move it through something, you're just screwed because you're gonna like it's super sluggish, which might be fine. Um, Am I going to upload these to YouTube? Yes, I uploaded last night's stream to YouTube already. It's already up there if you want to catch back up on that. And this stream, all the streams will go on YouTube, unless I mess up somehow and break them. But yeah, that's the plan. So you can watch this afterwards if you want to. I was saying, yeah, so you can attach to the asteroids, clonk, and then the idea is that you would charge your laser. So right now I can just trigger the laser however much I want. That's not going to be, wow, it's, so the idea is you fly up to an asteroid, you go clunk to attach to it, and then you hold the button for the laser, and the laser goes, and you can just slice the asteroid through, and that will also detach you from the asteroid, which I think is going to be cool. I think that's going to feel great. When I was coding this before, I thought I was adding code that would prevent these small little slices from actually staying around. See if I can manage to slice that in half. There we go. That removes it. But for some reason, you can make super thin ones and they will stay sometimes, not always, which is strange. But well, let's get into the attaching bits. I'm not entirely sure how to deal with attaching. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw for a little bit. Whoops. Lots of windows here on my little computer to keep track of. I need a black background because that's important. Come on. There we go. And my drawing area is about yay big. So we have the asteroid here, right? And we have our little player, which functionally right now is the circle. It has this little line to denote the way it's facing. It's not going to be, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use a different shape for the player visually, but circles are great for the logical shape of them because they won't get stuck on the corners. They will just slide around, which is good. It's something we want. Another really useful shape for physics stuff is the pill. So like if you're making a platformer or something, you don't necessarily want your character to be a box because that will mean you can get stuck on corners. Like the worst case scenario in like a platformer or something would be the ground being like that, because you can get up that little stair step even though it's super tiny, you just get stuck on that. So what you do is that you use a different shape. So you put a circle on top like that, and you put a circle on the bottom, preferably the same size, and you put a rectangle in between. Just these are supposed to be the same size. You get the gist of it. And this, in the same situation, the circle will deal with this much better. It will also not get like stuck on, like if you move past this corner here, the box would be able to stand like this if you're disabling rotation, which you would do in a platformer. This will eventually slide off the corner, which has benefits. So this is something I might consider for the player, but I don't know. The upside of this is that it can rotate freely, even if it's stuck, it can still kind of move around. So I think I'm gonna stick with the circle. So the way I'm thinking, I'm gonna make the attaching work is that when you press the attach button, it will check a point in front of you, say like about this far away. It will, or either that or we'll do a raycast. I'm thinking I might as well just check the point because why not? And I can do that. That's the way I was doing. Like right now, you can click asteroids to make them spin, which is just like this debug thing I put in. You can do this, and that's the same thing. Like I'm checking a point in the physics simulation. It's like, okay, what's here? I can do the same thing in front of the player and go, okay, what's here? And if that's an asteroid, I can attach to it. And then I can also adjust the range of that attaching by how far away I put this dot. It's going to be a problem for super thin asteroids though. So imagine this asteroid, instead of being that big, if we can do this. Imagine it being that big. And the player going like really up close to it. That would mean the dot would be on the other side, so that's not good. So maybe I need to stick to the ray trace anyway. That's, well, I'm doing rating as well already, so I also have that figured out. So maybe that's what we should do. I can still limit the range. That's not going to be a problem, and it's going to be more reliable, so that's good. I guess you wouldn't really want to attach to the really small ones that often, but it would be good if it worked. So now I'm going to add an extra button. Thinking I might as well do constants for those. Do inputs attach, which is going to be an integer, and input fire. And these just be like sequentially numbered. It's just going to save me a bunch of work if I want to swap them later. Plus I don't have to remember that 0 is fire and 1 is attached. I can just space out on that. I also realize that I have to do a little thing, which will take a couple of minutes. How do I deal with that? Look, it made a non-convex asteroid again. That's super annoying. And again. Sheesh. So I'm going to take a 4-minute break because I need to fix something. I'll be right back. I'm back. It's a fairly short 4-minute break. I think that was probably a 2-minute break. But the issue has been resolved. Now let's get on to some ray tracing. So here we need to go switch input fire. So attach. Now we're going to steal some code from the laser. World raycast. Thinking maybe let's do this. Whoops. So I'll put this in his own class just to keep stuff a little separated. So the player will have a toucher. How the hell do I spell that? Mon. I have not been up all night. I just got up. So I just got started like half an hour ago, 20 minutes ago. No, that is not normal. Thanks for pointing that out. Sometimes I press the switching keys by mistake. So I was doing attacher. This attacher. This isn't particularly elegant. Maybe I should fix that too. So the laser. Generate asteroid. I'm going to move those two into the asteroid collection. That feels like a more reasonable place to have them. Generate and create. Tack. So the laser needs access to the physics world. We can give it that. So the thing I don't want to do is I don't want to create the laser out in the game class. And we can do body get world. It's a little bit cheating, but it will do. Refactor. So the asteroid collection will need a reference to the world. I can live with that. Is that it? Is it broken beyond repair now? Nope, seems to be fine. That's cool. Attacher. So the attacher has the player, and it will have a public function called attach, or maybe activate. This will do some stuff that's fairly similar to what the laser does. I'll go player get player body get world. Then we can do the raycast using that, and then we need the raycast callback function. Just steal that from here. Now we're going to work out which button switch on the controller. And I suppose I need to fix this up too. So I go var start is going to be the player's position. So that's player body gets center, and then var end is going to be player body gets world point, and then I'll just steal this a little bit from the Hey, Princess Pony. Welcome to the club. And we can do a constant for this immediately. It's probably smart. Settings, attacher, range. Thinking it's going to be something like 3. Princess Pony, we're doing a special thing. I mean, it's not. We're not probably not the reason there are so many game dev streams on Twitch, but this is a special thing. It's called the Games Against Ebola Jam, and it's a thing run by Mojang and Humble and me and a bunch of other game companies, where you donate to. It's like a Humble bundle, but instead of getting like a bunch of actual games, you get the games we are jamming to make now from yesterday until Sunday, and you can. It's like a pay what you want bundle. All of the proceeds go to charity, and it's a charity whose name I am embarrassingly not forgetting right now. Direct Relief, I think, is the name. Yeah, which goes for like assistance with the Ebola outbreak in Africa, and you get the games as like a little bonus, and you get to watch us make them too. So it's all good. Everybody's a winner. Now, I was doing something. I was getting that. That is cool. Right, I was going to work out which button does what on the... It's 12. Who's following 4th May? May the 4th be with you. Attacher activates. We should return something. That is some cold coffee. It is tracing things. Bobman Dude 9889. Welcome to the club. I think that's working. We can can't really remember. Gotta check the docs. Raycast, callback, blah, blah, blah. Zazadet, welcome to the club. If you two want to make the little chime go and me say your name, you press the follow button on Twitch. Yeah. I know how raycasting works. I just want to Sacco Dridge. Welcome to the club. I'm gonna try this. B2 world. Raycast. Raycast the world for fixtures in the path of the ray. Callback. Callback should return the new length of the ray as a fraction of the original length. By returning 0, you immediately terminate. By returning 1, you continue with the original ray. By returning the current fraction, you proceed to find the closest point. Okay, so I just go with that. So this would mean I set the target to nothing. And then I run this whole thing. And this might run several times. How's the work going? The chat is asking. It's going well. It's improving. I'm going to attach to an asteroid here at some point. And then so this callback might be called several times because I mean it's not going to be super likely, but in the event that we have multiple really thin asteroids in front of us, we want to touch the closest one. So this callback might run multiple times, and we like the first few hits if they are further away, because there's no guarantee they will actually appear in the order, like the distance order from me. So it might be like an object that's further away, and then finally, like two or three callbacks down, I might get the closest one. I don't think I will get objects that are further away ever. They will get progressively closer. I think. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. So this will be fine. I think I just store the body that I hit. And I'm thinking I might store. Let's store these two. I don't need fraction. And if I get nothing here, there was nothing to attach to. Camon62, welcome to the club. So yeah, if that happens, we just bail. Can even trace a little message. We'll try this. Helter Skelter 2112. Welcome to the club. You can't see the trace output right now, but now it goes nothing to attach to within range. Here it gives me the fixture and a bunch of coordinates. If I do like, oh no, I can't do that anymore. I'll have to manually fly over to it and cut it up. I can do that. It should give me two of them. Yeah. I have no idea if they are indeed in the closest order, but we'll see about that once we get there. It's possible we have to check if this the new target we get is in fact closer than the other one. So that should be fine. I'm not entirely sure if this point is in world space. The point of initial intersection, yeah, that's very helpful. I'm guessing that would be, this is in world space, that would make sense. You can probably see that in the laser. I'm pretty sure they're in world space, local entry. Maybe not. We'll see. That will be obvious once we get there. So once that happens, it is time to create a joint. And I think I need to consult the documentation for that. Box 2D joint types, because I'm thinking like there are several types of joints to choose from. Blah, blah, blah. That's going to be useful soon. I know there are examples. Pax Temper. Welcome to the club. That's a Revolut joint. I don't want that. thinking. It's a picture. Of course, it's a picture. Oh well, we'll just read the documentation then. Joint definition, joint factory. Remhume, welcome to the club. I'm thinking we want a distance joint. One of the simplest joints is a distance joint, which says that the distance between the 2 points of the bodies must be constant. When you specify distance joint, the 2 bodies should already be in place. Then you specify the 2 anchor points in world coordinates. The first anchor point is connected to body 1, and the second anchor point is connected to body 2. These points imply the length of distance constraint. Revolute joint. Or maybe I want a prismatic joint, because I want it to be like clunk, whoop. I think this might be what I want. Let's work on that assumption for now. So I go body player body. Actually, I'm going to use the world a little bit, so I can do world is player body get world, and just store that in a variable. And I don't have to do that giant thing all the time. So when I activate it, I'm gonna make sure that I destroy this joint. So I don't leave a bunch of joints around. Then I'm going to create a new joint. This is going to need me to look at the documentation a little bit. This isn't super readable. Prismatic joint definition. PP Volto, welcome to the club. Body A, let's make that the player. Body B, let's make that the target. Then we're also going to do some checks for this later, so we make sure that's an asteroid. Maybe not though. Collide connected. I suppose yes. Enable limit, enable motor. So local anchor A. And did it say that that was in world space? Blah, blah, blah. I think that this is this is indeed in local space. So we can try and attach that to 0, 0. That, I'm guessing, should be the point. I don't know. We'll see. Missing semicolon. I'd be surprised if this works. Oh. Slicing still. Whoops. Yeah, something happened. Okay. These use some type of funky initialize. Yeah, maybe that's what I should be doing. Anchor. I'm not entirely sure. World axis. Just imitate what they're doing here. Interesting. I'm not entirely sure what the world axis actually does. Like, what the hell? Axe temper. What are you talking about? Inactivate function in first if. This is, yeah, this is an improvement. So I'm thinking this will be the axis that it's locked along. Should be. I'm going to assume this is in world space also. Maybe this will work. Ha ha ha. That seems very promising. It's not detaching though. Let's try disabling collision, see what that does. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe this is just a bad idea. Maybe I don't need that. We could try using the normal instead. See what that does. It's probably in local space though. No. Doesn't really look like it's attached to the center point of the player either, which is odd. Like this debug rendering for this is just insane. I have no idea what's going on. Because I don't want a distance joint because they will be spinning. I don't want a revolute joint because they would be maybe if I set these. Goodbye, Dragonfly. Have a good day. I'm not entirely sure. If I go this way, it will attract me back inside the asteroid, which makes very little sense to me. It's like this little point here, that is correct for sure. Okay, so both of those. Oh, I see. I don't want to do that. This is also super weird. Maybe I have to use a distance joint. because I want the player to be able to rotate freely. Well, we'll try with the distance joint. They have fewer moving parts anyway. Get rid of that. So 2 bodies, anchor A, anchor B, player body, get world center. See what this does. That will indeed attach us. That's pretty cute. I think that could actually work. So we want to collide with the connected. I wonder. No. The one drawback of this is if I'm not close enough when I attach, I will be, so I don't want this. I want to be on the surface to attach. The range of this is way too long too. I can attach over here, much too long. Attacher range all the way down. I think 1 is still too much. Yeah. Boing. Because I don't know, this like being able to move sideways like this. So that is a little bit of a problem. Because like what I want is a prismatic joint. That's gonna do what I need, but that is messing with the rotation of the player. But I don't really care that much about the actual rotation of the player, because that's all visual right now. It doesn't really matter which way the player is facing. So I could have that be just a complete like cosmetic thing. So I'm thinking we'll commit this. because it's kind of sort of working right now, and then we'll go back and look to the revolute joint for a little bit more. So we'll do this. We need to set the bodies. We need to set the local anchors and maybe the reference angle. So def body A. Let's say that body A is the player body. Say that's the asteroid. No, target. What else did I need? The local anchors. So def local anchor A would be player body. So those need to be in the local space. That's cool. Reference angle can be still be 0 for now. Because I think it might be mostly the rotation that's messing it up. How far away? I wonder what the defaults are. So now, even though the limits are disabled, I am like rotation is fine. That's good. Because that's what we want, right? I want to be able to rotate the ship without it having, but it does work the other way around. So like I can rotate the asteroid, kind of. But the question is, why am I attached at this stupid range? I think something's messed up with either this point or that point. Try target, get local center. See, that does. Okay, that's something. Lower angle, upper angle. Did I even want a revolute joint? Did I want a prismatic joint? I'm an idiot. I wanted a prismatic joint. because a revolute joint can't adjust the distance. This also worked though, but let's go for the B2 prismatic joints. All that stuff is fine. They are pretty similar in the way they work, like interface wise. I'm wondering what's pulling me in. If the would be strange if the motor was enabled by default, but who knows? No. I can still rotate, kinda. No, I can't. So that's not good. But I don't know why I'm like sucked back into the center. Maybe we should stick with the revolute joints, because that kind of sort of did what we wanted it to do, and then just tune the attacher range down to like almost nothing. So I tuned that down a little bit too low. But this does kind of work. Clunk. So it's going to be a matter of making it attach in the proper fashion. So here I'm creating the player. So I would go settings, player radius. Pretty sure that was 5 before. So here I would go local anchor A, pod body, get local point, new structure is to create the circle, physics scale. That should attach like the outermost point of the player to the asteroid instead of the center point. Maybe. No. Okay, I don't know why that happened. This was working, right? Yeah. Oh. I think that's what I wanted. Transformation between coordinate spaces. Fun. Nope. Can I can just maneuver so I can see what the hell is happening? Does it need to be divided by the physics scale? That does not strike me as... Actually, no, I don't need to transform this at all. I can just go like that. I think that's the issue here. Because it's in local space already. Yeah, there we go. And if I make it collide connected true, that was nice. So I go settings, player radius plus like a tiny number. Give us some margin of error. Yeah, they're so intercolliding. Maybe I should leave the actual attach point at the center of the player. And then, yeah, that's probably a smarter way of doing it. So this would be 0, 0, and then I need to mess with this guy right here. So I need to extend it from the surface a little bit. I'm not entirely sure if this normal we'll see what this does. Hello, Ben of Fish L. Yeah, so that normal is in some other coordinate space. Whee! So how about we do target get world. Give it gets a local point relative to the body's origin, give it a world point. Sure. Then I go player body get world center. Maybe this will do something. This is taking forever. Here we go. That feels really robust. And I can drive sideways to like rotate the asteroid along with me, and I can cut it up, and I will actually detach from it too, because what's happening is that when I'm cutting it, it will destroy that. Actually, I don't like these controls. They're the wrong way around. Change that. So when it slices an asteroid in half, it destroys that body and creates two new ones in its place. So any joints attached to that, I assume, would get destroyed as well. Well, it looks like it anyway. I'm not entirely sure what would happen. Bonk. So I'm going to turn off so it doesn't collide with the one you're connected to, because it seems that you can like mess with it a little bit to get slightly inside the other objects, and that will create sort of an engine, because you will be like colliding with it continuously and it will push you around. And that's not something we want. Another annoying thing is that the attach button will reattach. So like if I'm facing this, pressing the button, facing away and pressing will let go. But if I still facing, it would just reattach to that asteroid. Which I guess doesn't make an awful lot of sense. So maybe if I try to activate destroy all joint if it exists, blah blah blah. So I'll make a last target. if target is the same as last target. Something like that. So if you, I'll show you. I don't want too much work to explain. So I go bonk, attach. If I just face out into space, I can detach. If I face another asteroid like this, I'll Linko Limbo, welcome to the club. If I face another asteroid like that, I can just immediately reattach. But if I face either nothing or the same asteroid again, I will also detach. It is also closing up on a lunch break, but still like 40 minutes, 50 minutes to go. This is, I'm pretty happy with this. I commit this. I suppose we don't need that. We definitely don't need that. Or that. Should have done that before committing, but here we are. Here we are. I don't know what's the... So we got this one's done. Wish you could cross stuff out. This one. This is what we're going to do next, I think. Hold A to charge laser. So I'm going to do something So charge is going to be a value between 1 or 0 and 1, which is going to be like go up. And then I'm going to extrapolate like the range of the power and all of that stuff from that. It's also conceivable that we'll redo this to only split one asteroid, but there's really no point. It might as well be. Maybe this should be on the player. So update, input, get movement, blah, blah, blah. So this is going to be different now. Not only going to have a button down, but also a button up. Oh, I'm sorry you can't see the to-do list. That was sloppy of me. I'm guessing most of the time you won't even need to see that stuff, so that should be fine. Although I could move this overlay. Maybe I should move the overlay. Not now, maybe later. So when the button goes up, it will do this little thing. And if it's the input fire that's going up, it will go laser fire. Maybe. Let's do it that way for now. And then every update, it will go settings. We have, yeah, laser split force, laser max range. 10 now, that's really far. We go laser charge speed. That's going to be like 0.05. So we go if input is down, then we go charge so this will make the laser like go up when I'm holding the button and start going down when I'm releasing the button. Maybe that doesn't even make sense. Maybe it should just immediately turn off Yeah, I don't think that makes sense. Laser charge speed. If not charge, it's just immediately 0. And then it will do this, and that will use the settings laser max range times charge. We'll see what this does. Clunk. So this is another interesting problem. I was thinking it would force you to cut the asteroid at the angle you attach to it, but maybe I could give some leeway for that. I mean, obviously this is not something I want to do. It's pretty cool. Clonk. Clonk. Yeah, that's something I need to think about, because like do you have any formal education programming? Yes, I do. Are you autistic? That's a really weird question to ask someone. So, like, attach, maybe. Oh, I was pressing the wrong button. So I attach the asteroid, and like this is obviously not going to be something I want to do. I don't like that. I want to cut the asteroid I am attached to. But yeah, there are many ways of solving this. I could use the angle of the surface you're attached to as the, maybe that's the reasonable way of doing it. Okay, that's a bug. So for some reason, it's not actually clearing these. That should do it. Yeah, maybe the surface normal where I attach is the cool way of doing the laser. So it would always go sort of straight down into the asteroid. Feels like it should be fairly easy to judge too. That is going to require some math. I can't remember if I ever worked out if that surface normal was in world space or local space. Let's investigate. Oh, I get it. So it's when I'm pressing the help key, it will change my stream settings. Oops. So I'm getting the surface normal here. If we, for a little while, just assume that that is, in fact, we'll try some stuff. So instead of doing this, we do attacher target, which I need to do public go if attacher target is null, we just return, because then we can't do this math. Get world point. No. No, yeah, it's get world points to get the position of the player inside this asteroid, and then maybe we can add this. We'll try and add that normal. And we'll just see where it takes us. And then we need to go back into world space, because now we're in the local space of the asteroid. Maybe. Unexpected var. No. One is enough. So attach. Yeah, that angle is in some funky direction. I suppose I have the local point of attach. Okay, so maybe that is in world space then. Oh, and I was doing that wrong too. It's hard programming. Not entirely sure. Laser start. Why one of them is updating and the other one is not. If we don't do that, we should just go in and out of the coordinate space without actually changing. That does not seem to be the case. See if this works. Okay. Not entirely sure. So that's all fine. And then I let go, and it says nothing to attach to within range, which means the target is null. But somehow this is still remembering the center point of that asteroid. Which makes not a ton of sense, because target should be null. Laser start body get position and laser end attacher target. Why is attacher target not getting set to null? Because it goes activate, destroys the joint, sets the target to null. I don't think this is the problem, but we'll try it. I don't know why it's doing that. And this is not what we want. Like, I don't want to cut towards the center always. I want to cut from the angle that we are like landing on. I'm gonna go back to this. So get position. Maybe that's not what I want. So what does that give me? Gets the world body. Origin position. Get world. Center. Maybe. Shouldn't be any difference because it's a circle. It should be the same, but well, let's try it. So that is getting really messed up and funky. So this is, I'm getting the world center of the player, and then from the target of the attacher, which I very much assume is not the player. No. I get the local point using this world point. And then I get a world point using local coordinates. That's not working for some reason, which I don't entirely understand right now. Maybe it's just a rendering of the damn laser. That's where we're at now. It's a damn laser. Player, laser, start, player, laser, start. No, I should be fine. This is puzzling me a little bit because the attacher does not have a target now. It's tracing null down there. It goes to B2 body, so that's fine. Okay. So I go if player attacher target is not null, or if it is null, we just continue. That should make things at least a little bit less strange. This should give a really short laser. Yeah. So now I'm somehow pulling things toward me by attaching to them. Something's messed up. Yeah, something's definitely messed up. Okay, so that normal bar, oops. That might be up to something funky, so we're going to try. that. See what that does. I really don't understand what's going on. Like it's not even actually doing anything. Unless like this end thing is like messing with something else. No. So we'll try this again. So we go attacher, target, get local point. Laser start. And we'll just add something to it. Then go and just to be double safe, we can do that. Coordinate spaces. It's a mess. So now we got something. I'm thinking, yeah, this should be pointing in like the asteroid's local space. So that line should always be pointing in the same general direction. So if we, instead of doing that, do and add attacher normal, see what that does. It's entirely possible that that normal is not really the kind of normal I expect it to be. It doesn't seem to be behaving entirely the way I expected it to. It is rotating faster than the asteroid if I push it around, so that it is probably in world space. So what I need to do is I need to take this normal, do that. And that does not need to be a public var anymore. And then I do a local normal, or maybe a target normal. And once all of this stuff is done, I can go target normal, target get local vector, and then I go world normal. Maybe. It's 180 degrees off right now, but that is a minor problem. And I think if we shove them around so they actually rotate, it should be fine too. Yeah. So we're gonna flip this. This should, yeah. And we can also use the charge there. It is growing longer. It's taking a long time. That is and we can bound the charge to charge is bigger than 1, charge is equal to 1. It should be faster charging. We go clonk, attach, and go boop, clonk, boop, boop. Yeah, I like this. This is cool. And I think we can make it even nicer if we do a bar called laser range that has a getter and no setters and returns floats. And then down here we do a function get laser range, which will return that, but then we can do some nice easing on this. Which means it will charge faster in the beginning, and then it will like take a longer time as it goes outwards. Clonk, attach. I think I made it the wrong way. I didn't make it the wrong way. I suppose the maximum range might be off. Like I think it might be really far right now. That is just way too long. Might be able to actually tweak that in real time. Yeah, here we go. So something like 5 or maybe even a little bit less. Laser max range 5. Suppose I need to make it like actually make a sound once you go out the other side. I think we can manage that. I guess there's also the problem of doing it on a super small. This is pretty fun. I don't understand really why it's like moving it requires quite a lot of force, but spinning it doesn't really require that much. Boom. Boom. See if we can do 2 at once. I don't know if that's something I want to allow. But then again, it's pretty. Doesn't really hurt. I think after lunch, I'm gonna go get on with doing some graphics, so we can figure out how this game is gonna look. I mean, I'm all for the vector rendering stuff. Oh, hey, there's a question in the chat. That built-in debug settings menu I'm using is the same thing I'm using in the user elucid presentation. Sort of. I've ported it to Haxi because the user elucid thing is in ActionScript, but it is based on the same code, I think. Or at the very least, it's based on the same concept because it's super flippin' useful. Boom. I think it's charging a little bit too fast in the beginning now. We should make it charge slower overall. Which I totally don't need to turn off the game to do, but my memory is weak. This is pretty cool. I'm satisfied with this so far. This is maybe a little bit of a problem. It's pretty cool. You can kind of reliably shop off stuff. It's like, oh, I want this. Oops. Ooh. So another thing I'm going to experiment with is having like a core inside the asteroid, like a piece of gold or something that you want to collect, which might make things quite a bit more complicated. But we'll see. Might not necessarily be that much more complicated. It's just I'm gonna, instead of slicing or like cutting an asteroid once, I'm gonna have to do it twice. But the good thing is I don't have to run physics on the cores, because they're just gonna be the same thing as everything else. Kind of. So these super thin ones are actually getting discarded. So that's, I guess if I split these into halves, they will also get removed. It's a little bit hard to attach to these. Suppose I should also disable the laser if you don't have a target. Make it a little thing. Public var has target. Did I do that correctly? Yeah. So the same thing here, player attacher has target. Be a little bit more terse about that. We can do if actually no, let's do that anymore. Another concave physics objects here to mess with me. Got this is going to be so much better when I get some screen shake in here. And some like freezing, which is something that is actually not in the use it or lose it presentation. But I'll explain what I mean in the as we get to it. But I think this is pretty good for a morning's work. Boom. I'm going to commit this, and then I'm going to go for lunch for a little while. So laser charging. We don't really need this. Yeah, I think everything is in order for a little bit of a lunch break. So I'll be back in an hour or two, and then we'll do some more coding. Thanks so much for hanging out. Don't forget to go to humblebundle.com/ what is it? Games Against Ebola in one word, and you can donate to the charity, and you will get the game that I'm making and the game that the other games that the other teams are making as well. And everybody wins. So thanks for hanging out so far, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.